Sabrina and Breanna Stewart actually talking about the loss, what happened, things like that. People are loving what Sabrina said about Caitlin Clark and just showing love.
I'm so happy, I'm crying. I'm so happy. This is the best day.
The reigning champs just got rocked and Caitlin Clark was the earthquake in a stunning showdown. The Indiana Fever steamrolled the New York Liberty by 14 points, and Clark was at the center of it all. From deep threes to dazzling assists, she turned the court into her personal stage, and the Liberty were the audience. After the loss, Liberty stars Sabrina Ionescu and Breanna Stewart stepped up to the mic. No excuses, no finger pointing, just raw honesty. And what they said? It hit harder than the scoreboard. Instead of sidestepping the spotlight, they faced it, admitting Clark's performance was flat-out dominant. Their candid reaction didn't just silence doubters. It made it clear the standard in the WNBA might be shifting right before our eyes. So, what do you think? Was it true respect or just a classy way to accept defeat? Did the Liberty show grace under pressure? Let us know in the comments.
The word undeniable exists for a reason, and it applies to Caitlin Clark.
She steps into that court, and in the first quarter, she made 3 threes in 38 seconds.
She is just absolutely undeniable.
Caitlin Clark was just different. Caitlin Clark is the system.
Caitlin Clark is
generational talent we've needed.
She is the system.
She's 4th in the league in MVP voting.
Caitlin Clark is an absolute all-star. She is the Michael Jordan of this. This is the girl that girls have been waiting for forever.
Let us take a step back and set the stage. The New York Liberty rolled into the game flashing their championship rings, undefeated and full of swagger. On paper, this was supposed to be a walk in the park, a routine win over an Indiana team that had just clawed through 5 games without its star. But the moment Caitlin Clark stepped back on the court, everything changed. What was meant to be a test turned into a takeover. Clark lit it up with 32 points, dished out 7 slick assists, and stitched together a highlight reel so wild it could land its own ESPN 30 for 30. This wasn't just a comeback, it was a statement.
And Cunningham is down behind the play, but they've got Caitlin Clark to fire away from 2 players with incredible ball from Cunningham. Clark, another long 3. She's back!
But the real plot twist came after the final buzzer. Instead of dodging questions or leaning on tired, Sabrina Ionescu and Breanna Stewart did something rare. They gave Caitlin Clark the credit she earned. No flinching, no sidestepping. Just 2 champions recognizing greatness when they saw it. They faced the moment head-on and acknowledged the undeniable. Clark had owned the night.
Like we go on runs, they do as well. They're a great team. So I don't think it's defeating. I think obviously we know what a great shooter she is, and I think we just gave her too many easy ones. Obviously, she has great range, and her ability to get her shot off is really impressive, especially with missing some games. And so, obviously, on a personal level, I'm really happy to see her back out on the court, healthy, feeling good, because obviously it's important for that.
When asked how Clark looked after returning from her injury break, Sabrina didn't sugarcoat a thing. She praised Caitlin's insane shooting range, her calm under pressure, and the way she managed to create space even with defenders draped all over her. That wasn't just a polite soundbite, it was one elite shooter giving a genuine nod to another. And Sabrina didn't stop there. She got real. She said she was happy to see Clark back, not just for the Fever, but for Caitlin as a person. That's not the kind of thing you say about a media-hyped rookie. That's what you say when you see someone as a true peer.
As Caitlin Clark put on a show that only she can in leading the team to a win over the New York Liberty. She hit the logo bombs, 3 of them in 38 seconds. Caitlin was able to hit down the court. Just gorgeous. I mean, come on.
But the moment that really landed, Sabrina's blunt admission, they gave Caitlin way too many open looks. Let that sink in. This is Sabrina Ionescu, one of the purest shooters in the game, straight up acknowledging that Clark's range is a serious problem. Even when defenders think they've closed the gap, it is not enough. And when someone with Sabrina's shooting resume says Clark only needs a sliver of space to make you pay, you believe her, because she knows exactly what it takes to drain shots from the parking lot.
Caitlin Clark is the best basketball player in the world. She's the best basketball player that I have ever seen. She is the difference maker. She is the needle mover. She is the face of basketball right now.
Let's see what some people are saying right here. I am 100% Fever, but first team I have watched with class this year. Other than my Fever, great game, ladies. I love the sportsmanship. May you have a great season.
Then there was Sabrina Stewart, calm, composed, but just as honest. This is a two-time MVP. A proven champion, someone with every reason to deflect, criticize the refs, or shift the narrative. But she didn't take the easy way out. Instead, Stewie called it like it was. They got outplayed, not by luck, not by some fluke. They lost to a team that came in with a better game plan, sharper execution, and one extremely dangerous weapon, Caitlin Clark.
Individually, I think just making better reads off the switches. They made it really difficult because they were just like, there was just constantly somebody there and trying to find an opening to get downhill or to find somebody else. And then collectively, like our defense, I think we should take pride in that a little bit more. And they had like 53 at half and finished with 102. So it doesn't really seem like we were guarding much.
Brianna Stewart was giving her a lot of space. She shoots it from the logo, she drills it, and right afterwards, I think all Brianna Stewart could do is kind of laugh about it. I actually loved that moment.
If you watched the game closely, you saw that moment, Caitlin Clark pulling up from the logo and drilling a three right in Brianna Stewart's face, and Stewie's reaction. She smiled. That wasn't frustration. That wasn't surrender. That was respect. She didn't pout, didn't throw shade, she just grinned. Because in that split second, she knew she'd been part of something special, even if it came at her own expense. Greatness knows greatness when it sees it. Those defensive breakdowns Brianna Stewart mentioned, they weren't just mental lapses or missed rotations, they were what happens when one player bends the entire game around her. Caitlin Clark's presence was like gravity. When someone can pull up from 35 feet and make it look routine, your defense unravels before it even gets set. The Liberty were constantly chasing, scrambling to contain her, and in that chaos, Indiana's other shooters feasted. Clark didn't just score, she dismantled their system from the inside out.
I mean, it's not defeating. Basketball's a game of runs, in the same way like we go on runs, they do as well. They're a great team. So I don't think it's defeating. I think obviously we know what a great shooter she is, and I think we just gave her too many easy ones.
What made this post-game moment truly powerful? The complete absence of ego. We've all seen the media try to spark drama, painting Caitlin Clark as the rookie shaking up the league, clashing with the veterans. But Sabrina Ionescu and Brianna Stewart didn't take the bait. Instead of feeding the hype machine, they did something rare. They told the truth. They gave credit where it was due. And the stats back them up. Indiana torched the Liberty from beyond the arc, not because of luck or some miracle run, but because Clark drew so much defensive heat that her teammates were left with wide open, practice quality looks. It wasn't a fluke, it was the ripple effect of gravity level star power. Stewart also let something slip that spoke volumes. She admitted the Liberty overworked their starters trying to keep pace with Indiana's offense. Indeed, that's not just a tactical issue. That's mental fatigue. That's the Clark effect. Caitlin doesn't just play fast, she controls the tempo. She stretches defenses, disrupts spacing, and forces opponents out of their comfort zone. She doesn't just beat you on the scoreboard, she makes you change who you are to keep up. That's what stars do. That's what leaders do. That's what future MVPs are made of.
Yeah, look, obviously we had to rely on these two players here, and we didn't get to the rim. Early in the game we did. I think we had about 32 points in the paint in the first half, and we didn't we didn't get as many open ones as we did in the second half, and that's on the coaching staff. We've got to make it a little bit easier for them in that regard. But they're switching. They were very disruptive. They were very physical, and we've got to be a better job at executing that.
Even Liberty head coach Sandy Brondello kept it real. No complaints about injuries. No side comments about the refs. Just a straight-up acknowledgement, the Fever were the better team that night, and when a coach of Brondello's caliber tips her hat without flinching, you know this wasn't just a regular season win, it was a statement. Indiana didn't sneak past the champs, they outplayed them, outcoached them, and outshined them.
The Indiana Fever before Caitlin and the Indiana Fever after Caitlin, she is like 1000% the difference maker.
Statistically, it was a blowout. Indiana dropped 102 points, with a jaw-dropping 53 coming in the first half alone. Just a week earlier, this same team looked disjointed without Caitlin Clark, but with her back, they looked like the second coming of the Golden State Warriors. Those 17 made threes. That wasn't hot shooting luck, that was pure gravity. Clark's presence pulled defenders out of position and turned her teammates into killers from deep. She didn't just elevate the offense, she transformed it. Everyone around her played freer, faster, and sharper.
She is the only player in the league so far averaging 20 points per game, 5 rebounds per game or more, 5 assists or more per game. Caitlin Clark is back in action.
This team won a massive game.
The Indiana Fever have come out and dominated.
Sabrina tried to sum it up by calling basketball a game of runs, but let's be honest, this wasn't just a hot streak. This was a dismantling. Indiana didn't just catch fire for a quarter, they played smart, sharp, and relentless from tip-off to the final buzzer, and that's what Sabrina and Stewart truly acknowledged: sustained brilliance. Because here's the real story: Caitlin Clark isn't just grabbing headlines. She is flipping the script. She is raising the level of everyone around her, humbling champions without a word, and earning something far more valuable than hype: respect. The hardest kind to get, the kind that comes from beating the best and making them say it out loud.
So we got back into the game. We had that run when Stewie was guarding Caitlin Clark, but then they executed well, and we had so many breakdowns on defense, and they made shots. They really punished us on that end, making 17 threes from 35. It was just too wide open. So a little lack of communication. We had to obviously work these two, probably overworked them tonight. But a lot of things that we can learn, and we, like I said before the game, we're nowhere near where we need.
Sabrina Stewart's post-game reflections hit different. This wasn't your typical WLL bounce-back media moment. Her words were measured, her tone was heavy, and the message couldn't have been clearer. This one hurt. The Liberty have built their identity around being the WNBA's gold standard, a dynasty in progress, the team everyone else is chasing. So when Stewart openly admitted they were rattled by Caitlin Clark's tempo and composure, it didn't sound like an off night. It sounded like a wake-up call when the defending champs start questioning their footing after facing a squad that was being written off just 5 games ago. That is not just a loss, that is a shockwave, and Caitlin Clark just sent it rippling through the entire league.